Welcome back to Monday Talk Sports. This is Jonathan Lavar. And I just wanted to talk about the other day. This was on February 7th. I actually saw, watched Undisputed, Skip and Shannon show. And they had a guest appearance. They had Lavar Ball on the show. Okay, and I just wanted to have a discussion and just to see, have Lavar Ball gone too far? Is there a such thing as going over the line? Because I know so many people, when it comes to publicity, so many people state there's no bad press, there's no bad publicity. But I just want to discuss, have Lavar Ball gone too far? How far is too far? Okay, so on the show, I'm watching the show, and Lavar Ball, not only that, pretty much he's stating that Luke Walton should get fired. Okay, and it's been discussed already on a number of networks, where countless people mentioned that Luke Walton is currently in a hot seat. Okay, so that is nothing new. Okay, and then he also said, okay, that Lonzo Ball also said that Lonzo Ball, his son, who plays on the Lakers, okay, really don't like Luke Walton as a coach. Okay, don't really like the way Luke Walton is playing him. Okay, and then to top it off, he stated that he believed that Lonzo Ball is better than LeBron, and LeBron needs to get in line and play off of Lonzo. Now, as an analyst, I'm not gonna go too hard on LeVar Ball because nobody is going to go against their own son and say that someone else is better than their own son. I get that. Okay, so I get that. I understand that. The discussion is not really okay. He failed to admit that someone is better than his own son, who is also an NBA player. But during the conversation, a few things really jumped out at me. Okay, and the reason why is because whenever you have a player that plays on a team, they actually have a terminology. When you actually have a parent that goes to the game constantly, goes to the media, always talk, they actually call it helicopter parent or helicopter dad. I don't know if y'all ever heard the terminology before, but Mike Leach, the college coach, who actually right now he's the coach for Washington State football program. He used to actually coach Texas Tech. He had actually gotten in a situation when he placed one of the sons of an ex-football player inside a locker because of his father, because the way his father was acting towards the team. So he really took it out on his son. Okay, so and when I'm talking about that, so how far as a parent do you go? Okay, when you're discussing your son who actually currently playing on an NBA roster, how far do you go? Okay, so I get it. LeVar Ball, he's actually an ex-football player, so he actually played football in the league. He played for Carolina Panthers. He was a journeyman, and I think he may have played on other teams as well, but I know he did play on Carolina Panthers, so he's an ex-football player. Okay, so I see him being a professional really gives him that platform. But then he actually states that when it comes to Magic Johnson, he states that Magic Johnson really don't have any authorization, any authority as the president of basketball operation with the Lakers. And as I'm stating this, I want to, for all my listeners who listen, think about that for a second. Okay, so he stated that there was reports that Jeannie came out and stated that it was her decision. She informed Magic Johnson to pick Lonzo Ball. Because she, according to Lavar Ball, he said this on Undisputed. Okay. Now, I actually heard the report. I was watching First Take when I saw Stephen A. Smith. He actually reported the same thing when he said, he noted that he feels that Magic Johnson would not have selected Lonzo Ball. That was Jeannie Buss' decision. Okay, so when you have a type of person like this, okay, and I remember the draft when the draft was 2 years ago when Lonzo first got to the team before he got drafted. A lot of at the time, a lot of analysts, a lot of colleagues of mine, we was actually going over the draft, the different draft prospects at that time. And I asked the question, do you bring, when you have someone that publicized, okay, someone that vocal, when you know LeVar Ball, he's been vocal the entire time, do you bring someone like that in your organization? And we always hear about New England Patriots, the Patriots way, how they do business, how they do things. They do it the Patriots way. Everybody likes to call it the Patriots way. And then when we talk about San Antonio, Texas, how San Antonio Spurs, we talk about Greg Popovich and how they run their organization. And to me, when you're talking about a culture, this is what you cannot have in a culture, in a basketball organization. You cannot have one player or their parent openly discussing determination, whether it's true or false, of your head coach. You cannot have that. You cannot have a player or their parent openly discussing or affecting free agency. Okay, so now this past if you noticed, last week was the trade deadline. Okay, and then reports came out that Lonzo Ball had an injury again last week. And then it came out, LeVar Ball actually came out openly and went to the media and start stating that Lonzo Ball did not want to go to New Orleans Pelicans. And he insinuated that if he did go to the Pelicans, he wasn't going to play for them. According to LeVar Ball, and that's not my words. LeVar Ball, I was watching Undisputed, and he pretty much insinuated, he stated that he don't have to play. But as a player, when you're playing for an NBA roster and you're getting paid, you have to play. You have to pay. You have to play. If you're getting paid, you have to play. Okay? Because anytime, to me, and I don't know if LeVar Ball even understands the terminology when it comes to malingering. Okay, so and of course, if for anyone who don't know, malingering is when you're not actually hurt, but you're faking like you're hurt to not play, to control the outcome of a situation. It's called malingering. Okay, and of course, playing basketball. Of course you're gonna have nicks and knacks. Of course you're gonna have doctors. When you keep playing basketball, you're never 100%. Okay, so I'm not even stating that Lonzo Ball is going out there malingering or anything like that, because when you play basketball, as long as these professionals and these athletes play, there's always going to be nicks and knacks. You're never going to be 100%. Now, and I know everybody looking and they're like, okay, what's the point? What's the point? Well, it's too far. Is there such thing as being too far? Is LaVar Ball, are you okay with the antics of LaVar Ball openly discussing, stating that he no longer want Lonzo Ball to play for the Lakers? They need to trade him. Is that okay? I understand players voicing their opinions, but when you have a parent that's not even affiliated with the game, no longer a professional, he's not a team, is it okay for the parent to openly discuss how their child is being treated on a roster? Now, LaVar Ball, during Undisputed, he actually mentioned that when he was on the AAU circuit and he coached on the AAU circuit, he had a lot of his team just running up and down, playing pretty much what they call a run and shoot offense. You pretty much want to run where everybody run down. The point guard gonna find the open person. That's great in theory. Okay, and then he mentioned he did it for high school, so he did it at the high school level. But you have to understand, when you're talking about playing on the NBA, on a professional level, not even on a college level has about in between 30 to about 34 games if you're going deep in March Madness and going into the tournament. You're playing about 34 games. Okay? When you talk about NBA, okay, you're talking about an 82 game season. 82 game season. Okay, so when it comes to an 82 game season, the league, the commissioner himself felt like, okay, because the season is so long, we're going to limit the back-to-backs. Before, there used to be 4 games and 5 nights. Now they have more days spread out in between. They have a week break from the All-Star, which was another change that the commissioner made from years in the past, where they didn't have that break going in All-Star. It was just 82 game season. The All-Star game was in the middle, and then after the All-Star game, we going back to the next game if you have a game that next night, and then continue to the rest of you go to the playoffs. No break in between the playoffs, back-to-back games, and I had no problem with that. I had no problem with that back then. But you have to understand, you can't run and shoot in an 82 game season and think that not playing defense is going to be successful in order to win a championship. I understand his theory, but his theory can work on a smaller level, but cannot work on a deeper level. And then I understand he stated, okay, well, the Showtime Lakers, they ran. Yeah, they did run in the regular season. Because when you come in the playoffs in the NBA, the game gets tighter. You're playing against better defenders. You're playing against better teams. So now, all the transition points that you used to get against the bad teams that you played in the regular season, you're not seeing that opportunity in the playoffs. You're going to play more in the half court set. Okay, now, and mind you, and I understand a lot of people who's listening, and they're probably saying, well, that's not the case for Golden State. Well, let me tell you this. First and foremost, Golden State is an anomaly. Okay, Golden State is an anomaly. It's not likely where you would actually have a championship roster where you have 3 potentially Hall of Fame players with the 2-time MVP, with a player who was the league unanimous MVP, and then you acquire another MVP on your roster. That's an anomaly. Something that never happens in history is an anomaly. So you see Golden State demolishing other teams and running in transition, but understand this: Golden State runs on offense is set up from their defensive intensity, from playing defense in the half-court set. Because they play defense so well, they're able to steal balls. They actually work the passing lanes, steal balls, and throw the ball back the other way. And when you have players like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green, and now to the mix added DeMarcus Cousins, you have what is called an anomaly. It's not something that normally happens. Okay, but in order to be successful in an 82-game season in the NBA, you have to have a team that is going to play in the half-court set. Because come playoffs, everyone will know, everyone will see, you see more players or more teams are going to the half-court set. And if you can't score in the half-court set, it's very difficult to be successful. Okay, so, and I just wanted to talk about today, okay, in regards to Lavar Ball. I mean, have he gone too far? Is what he brings to the table, is what Lonzo Ball brings to the table, is it worth it? Would you have him on your team? If you're listening and you're a Boston fan, or you're a Pelicans fan, or you're a Phoenix fan. Now, if you're a Phoenix Suns, I'm sure you'll take any talent you get. But is this something that's worth coming to your ball club? And I didn't want to talk about that for a minute today. Okay. If you have any comments, please go ahead and comment. You can go ahead and comment on moneytalksports.com or moneytalksports/YouTube, and then also Money Talk Sports at Facebook. Okay. Thank you again. This is Jonathan Laurent. Please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification for new content. Have a great day.